All right. Thanks God. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's good. It's good. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue chapter 2, right? So we talked about external environment. Okay. Then we are continue chapter 2 today. Okay. Then next week we want to start chapter 3. Okay. New chapter. So at the last time, as long as I remember, we stopped in the warm keys, right? So let me pull up the warm keys. What number did we start? Did we start? Number 2, I guess. So we talked about scenario planning. All right, scenario planning. If A happens, we do this. B happens, we do this. C happens, we do this. Okay. So in more advanced techniques of scenario planning, these days many people use the probability statistics concepts in this study and scenario planning too. So A, the probability of situation A has its own probability. B has its own probability. Then we have better information, better sense about this scenario planning. Okay? All right. Did we talk about this, right? So, can I continue? Number 2. Please say yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. Number 2. If companies miscalculate the market, all right, then opportunities will be lost. We talk about this. I'm not sure, but this is very true, right? This is very true. Okay. So, calculate market is very, very important. Okay, because your strategy, your focus will be find a target market and make decisions, functional decisions accordingly. All right. This step, very simple steps. Okay. You will practice these steps in your simulations. Okay. So basically, in the simulations, your job is finding target market. All right. And make decisions accordingly. Make functional decisions accordingly. This is job for your simulations. Okay. All right. This job is always changing. This is not static. This is dynamic. Why? Because your customers are changing, your environments are changing. Other teams are changing. So markets are changing and customers are changing. All right. So your target market it should be the ones you need to find your target market based on the customers. Okay? Based on customers, what they want, you should know that. Right? Right? Then the simulation will provide some information. I'm not going to give you an exact answer. Okay? How do you find it? You should find it. Okay? There's a way, very obvious way in the manuals, in some of the informations you can use it. Okay? Right? I'm not going to give you a step-by-step instructions. This is not the purpose of this. Okay? Component of the class. Okay? All right. Number 3. Environmental scanning involves surveillance of the internal environment of a firm to predict environmental change and detect changes already underway. True or false? True or false? Anyone? All right, it's false. Tanner says it's false. Why, Tanner?
It includes the external environment, not just the internal.
Exactly. So environmental scanning involves surveillance of external environment. This is definitions. Okay. So in this part, okay, there are three components to forecasting, okay, external environment forecasting. In the textbook, there are 3 components. All right? Environmental scanning, we talk about, okay, and monitoring, right? Environmental monitoring. Then competition intelligence. Okay? So environmental scanning, environmental monitoring, and competition the intelligence. Okay? So environmental scanning is you just search it, right? Survey, surveillance. Okay? And environmental monitoring, you keep watching. Okay? Then competition intelligence is collect direct information and use it. Okay? Then you can forecast your external environment. This is a framework the textbook is talking about the environmental forecasting. Okay? All right. Number 4, very good, Tanner. Good, Tanner. Number 4, SWOT analysis is useful in part because it obliges the firm to act proactively by putting an emphasis on identifying opportunities and threats that constrain the actions choices a firm might make as a result of its internal and external environmental scale. True or false? Yeah, it seems true. This is a definition of a SWOT analysis. Yeah, it seems true. Okay, so I don't find any obvious issues here. Okay, so it's true. Okay. So SWOT. I assume that many students are already familiar with SWOT. Okay, SWOT: strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Okay, very, very simple tool. Okay, many people use it. All right, it's a simple and strong tool. Because it's simple, it's a strong tool actually. Okay, simple and strong. Okay, so it's risky to use it, right? Because many people already know it. Okay, so if you mistakenly use this, okay, this is a big problem. Right? The most people have a problem with to distinguish external and internal. Okay, strength, weakness, and opportunity and threats. Okay, opportunity and threats external. That means you cannot control. All right, strength, weakness, internal, you can control. You should keep in mind this. Okay, when I was working for a venture capital company, I was a venture capitalist. Okay? My job was, to review 10 to 20 business plans every day because there are plenty of business plans to review, and then I just pick up 1 or 2 the small business teams, then interview with them. Okay? There are so many beautiful business plans and beautiful founding teams, like MIT educated, Harvard educated. Okay? There are so good people. If I love their business plans, but if I find they cannot distinguish internal, external, strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threats. If I find they cannot use this SWOT concept, then it's a problem, right? Okay? Very highly competitive situations. Then very beautiful founding teams, they even cannot distinguish between internal and external. Then my credibility will. Okay. So many same things happen like this. So please don't confuse internal and external. Okay? All right. Number 5. The strengths and weakness of the SWOT analysis refer to the external conditions. Okay, it's not. Okay, strengths, weakness, it should be internal. So far so good. Your systems, your microphone, your audio, video, and this contents, everything's all right? Okay, all right. Number 6. To understand business environment of a particular firm, you need to analyze both the general environment and firm industry and competitive environment. Yeah, Why not? Okay. So general environment. Okay, we have good sense, okay, about the firm industry and competitive environment. It's a business level. Okay, we are familiar with that. A general environment. What is a general environment? It should be really general, everything. Okay, then it's a big problem. If somebody asks, what is the general environment of firm these days? Then what are you gonna answer? How do you answer this? Everything. You cannot list up everything, right? Then people use some categories to describe, to communicate, okay, the general environment. Okay? So there's some economics, politics, okay? Some social culture or something like that. Okay? So I'm going to talk about PASTEL, very simple tools, PESTEL, okay, to describe general environments. Then you will be much easier to talk about general environments. Okay, so PASTEL, we want to talk about that. Okay, number 7. Technological innovations can create entirely new industries and alter the boundaries of industry. Yes, it's true. Okay, it's true. So technological innovations. That's why. Okay, this is why we are crazy about. Okay, these days. Okay? Actually, we didn't talk about my other paper, scientific celebrities. Okay? The role of scientific celebrities. Okay? We didn't have enough time to talk about that, but actually that paper is talking about this. Okay? And number 8, globalization provides opportunities to access larger potential market. Yes, a narrow base of production facilities. This is not true. A wide base of production factories. Okay? So if you go out of the box, you can find more opportunities to have better options to acquire external resources, okay? Like production factors. So this is for us. Okay? All right, so far so good. Okay, I guess. So any question? Oh, so look at this: technological innovations and globalizations. These two factors. Okay, these two factors. These are big trends in strategic management. Okay, you should consider. Technological innovations, globalization. Both, think about that. Why we care about technological innovations and globalization? Two factors these days. Why do we care about this, innovations and globalization? I teach innovation management. I teach international business too. Okay? Why we care about that?
It's good to stay up to date on what's the latest technology. Go ahead, Jack.
Who is talking?
Sorry, Tanner. I was just going to say that because for innovating, you have to think globally, not just in your certain market, maybe in your country or whatever. It could be something that applies to all countries globally in the global.
All right, great. Okay, so you find a better market, all right? Okay, then was Tanner? Tanner, go ahead.
I was just going to say something similar. I was just going to say that it's good to stay up to date on the latest technology and what might be coming in the next couple of years and stuff as a company, so that you're not surprised or like falling behind when these new innovations are coming like down the pipeline.
All right, great. Okay, Jack, Tanner, great. And any other points? Anyone else? Okay, so in the strategic management, it has a very simple framework. We talked about that. Reduce cost, increase product differentiations, and you can achieve competitive advantage, right? We can talk about this. Okay? Reduce cost, increase product differentiations, increase this gap, and you have competitive advantage. Okay? So think about these two factors: technological innovations and globalizations. These two factors usually, okay, not these two factors, usually if you reduce cost, okay, how about your product differentiations? So it's a reduced tool because you reduce cost, okay, you don't have enough resource, then product differentiation goes down. Okay, so these two are actually co-move simultaneously, generally. But technological innovations and globalizations, these factors make it possible to reduce cost, increase product differentiations simultaneously. All right, so you can reduce cost, increase product differentiations, increase this gap as much as possible, then it makes your competitive advantage. Okay. These two factors make it possible. That's why people, wow, this is crazy. This is good, right? That's why focus on technology these days. That's why they focus on globalizations, all right? Technology and globalization, very, very important topics, okay, in strategy management. All right, so any question about the one case before we move? So if you don't, please type no to make sure. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's move. So we've done one of these. And learning objectives, this chapter, actually we covered most of these topics. Business environment forecasting, we talked about that. Scanning, monitoring, and competitive intelligence, we talked about that. Scenario planning, we talked about that. And some other things, some other very simple topics. I'm gonna cover this in my lecture and strategy groups. So, and chapter 2, we are doing this external environment. So next time you're gonna talk about internal environment, okay? Internal environment, okay? Class activities, which one is more interesting? This one, this one. All right, this is too simple. So let's think about this. Let's think about this. Today's class activity is just a real case, okay? All right, so on oil strategy in case Iran shuts down Strait of Hormuz. Okay? Actually, this is happening again and again and again. All right, again periodically. Okay, Iran is really problematic in this. Okay, this point of view. Strait of Hormuz. Let's watch a simple news clip. Then we can talk about this. Okay. I'm not sure this will work, but yes.
Iran is threatening to cut off the Strait of Hormuz to the U.S. over a congressman's call to action over that country's treatment of U.S. sailors earlier this year. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin tonight on the impact closing the strait would have on the U.S.
A senior Revolutionary Guard commander has threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, where 1/3 of the world's oil exports pass each day. And Iran's supreme leader tweeted a cartoon showing his troops kicking the U.S. Navy out of the Gulf.
They come here from the other side of the globe and stage war games. What are you doing here?
So now you can hear me, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to explain, okay, very simply. Okay? So this is our problem. Strait of Hormuz, right? Strait of Hormuz. Very narrow canal. Okay. So this is Iran's control. Okay? So look at this map. Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. All of these countries, okay, Qatar, whatever, okay, are the nation of oils. Okay, they import oils. So this a narrow canal, strait. If Iran close this, okay, and then all of these countries do not have the way to export their oils because the oil should go this way always and go all over the world. All right. So Iran close this, then these oils, all of these oils should go, not this way, but like a land or whatever. It's almost impossible. So it's a big problem. So Iran is always threatening, okay, with this, okay, every 5 years, 10 years. Okay? So if these things happen, okay, this will shift oil price. Okay? This will impact oil price. So based on these situations, you can imagine that, okay, there are two questions. How will the shift in oil price be likely to impact you and used car dealers? So you are the boss of you and used car dealers. Okay, you have both. Okay, you and used car dealers. Then what are you gonna do? Okay, so you can think about how this impact your business, you and used car dealers, and what are you gonna do? Okay, so you can talk with your team. You can talk with your team. Okay, I'm gonna create, as we did, breakout rooms for your discussions. 5 rooms, and I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, and you can join with your team. So clear? So if you are ready, please join with your team and discuss it. Okay? Then we'll discuss briefly as a whole group, and we will move. I'm gonna mute my microphone for your discussions, but if you have any question, concern, just let me know. I will be here.
You were now unmuted.
All right. Okay, welcome back. All right. So I assume that you are ready to talk about this case as a whole group. All right. Can I start? Okay. All right. The first question. How will the shift in oil price be likely to impact new and used car dealers? Okay. What you discuss? Please tell us. Anyone? Anyone can start. Okay. Please tell us your perspective and your team discussions.
So we pretty much said that oil prices will most likely increase,
All right.
and the way it would impact new and used car dealers would be the style of vehicle that they would be selling. So most like SUVs and trucks and things like that will most likely have to be at a reduced price to allow people to have interest in them, and then more economy cars such as like sedans and things like that will be more of the market's interest.
All right. So Colby, so you are focusing on your team focusing on the pricing strategy. So you reduce cost for trucks and SUVs, and then you just focus on the small, more efficient, fully efficient cars. So your strategy, okay, your strategy will focus on your price and also the inventory, right? The structure of your inventory. Good, good, very nice. Okay. Any other points?
Yes. So our group thought that the prices would lower since Iran produces a lot of oil and they can't export any of it. So there'd be a higher supply and the price would go down for oil. So we thought there'd be more increased sale of used cars because the people being affected by the price of oil are likely have less of an income and they couldn't afford the new cars.
All right. So Sam and your team actually talk about distinguish between new and used car markets. Okay. Distinguish this separately. It's good. Good try. Good try. Actually, new car market and used car markets are totally different things. Okay. So probably this oil price will impact in these markets differently in a different ways. Okay. Good try. Good try, Sam. Thank you. Any other points?
In our group, we talked about that new cars. We actually did opposite of what Sam's group said. We said that new cars would go up, like people would buy more of them because they're probably more fuel efficient. And when the cost of gas goes up, people don't drive trucks and SUVs as much. They drive more hybrid cars or cars that have high fuel economy.
So, it makes sense too. Okay, that makes sense too. Okay. So it depends on your expectation, right? So how do you predict this? So this forecasting will be impacted by your information, okay? Environment scanning, environmental monitoring, and intelligence, competitive intelligence. Okay, so your prediction forecasting can be different because you have different mechanisms to collect more information about the future, about this current environment. Okay, so it is so very natural that I see the different predictions. Which one is better? I don't know. Okay. Then, based on how you worked on it, okay, probably I have sense. Oh, this will be better. Okay, something like that. Okay, good, nice, very good, and very concise discussions. And also, there are some possibilities about the let's say, hybrid cars and electric cars, something like that. These markets probably will be, will be good in these situations. But it depends on the price too. Okay? So how to balance this price and full efficiency is I don't have any exact knowledge about this. Okay? But we will see markets if these things happen again. Okay? Right, number 2. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Our group said that we would, if we were a new car dealership, we would like either increase or keep the price of fuel efficient cars like high, and then SUVs and trucks we drop them because people would probably drive them less. And then if you're a used car dealership, if you had a more fuel efficient car, then you'd probably want to try and make more money on those. So kind of a similar situation.
All right. So manager Erica says, okay, their company, their organization will have better marketing strategy according to this change. Okay, great. Good point. Good point. And anything else? Any other point you wanna talk about? What are you gonna do? Okay, then think about this case. Okay, so this is external environment. You cannot change it. You should accept it. All right, oil price, you cannot change it. It's a given. All right. So, but where is it from? It's very interesting. The other side of the glove, the other side of the world. Okay. Then something happens over there, then it impacts my business. Even it happens where the other side of the glove. Okay? That's why we talk about external environments. External environments, why we consider this? Because it impacts your business. All right, very simple. It impacts your business. That's why we talk about external environment, external monitoring, external scanning, monitoring, competitive intelligence. Okay, so this is a bit the message from this simple case. Yeah. Any question about the case? So can I move? What time is it? Okay. All right. So we already talked about this, right? The importance of external environment. Environmental scanning, monitoring, competitive intelligence. 3 components impact your forecasting. So everyone has its own forecasting based on this. Yeah? So you are gonna practice this with your simulations. Environmental scanning, we talked about that, right? The surveillance. Monitoring, keep looking at this. Yeah? And competitive intelligence, collect data on competitors, interpret intelligence data. Okay, that's it. Then, okay, environmental forecasting. Why do we need this? Plausible projections. Okay, and scenario analysis. We talked about that. If A happens, we do this. B happens, we do this. We talk about alternative futures. Okay, and these days people use some probability concepts with these alternative futures. Okay. Right, SWOT, we talked about that. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and risk. Okay. And internal, SMW, external, OMT. Okay, don't confuse this. Okay. And general environment is everything, almost every environment. So this textbook says demographic, social, cultural, political, technological, economic, global. Okay, 6 categories. I have my own, categories to remember this. If somebody asks me about the general environment, okay, I can talk about it immediately with this PESTEL. PESTEL. Okay, so P political, E, economics, S, social cultural, T, technological, E, environmental, L, legal. So I just remember Pascal about the general environment, then I can talk about that. Okay? So how to distinguish, how to categorize external environments, I just remember this test. That's it. Okay? All right. I'm not gonna cover each this categories. You just read, then you can understand very, very easily. So I'm not gonna cover this. Okay. And competitive environment, you will practice this in the simulations, and you have competitors and customers and suppliers. Okay. So competitors, your other teams in the simulations. Okay. They change. They do something in the market. So markets are always changing because of this. Competitors. So your strategy will be changing too. Okay? And customers determine the market. All right. So you need to know what customers actually want. Then you set up the target market, okay, your product occasions, then you make decisions accordingly. And suppliers are all about operations of your management. Okay? So you want to practice this. Okay? You want to have sense. Okay? What I am doing with these simulations. If you have that sense, it's so successful. Okay? In the simulations. Porter's 5 forces model. Okay? This is very famous model. So 5 forces actually determine your industry profit level. This is a simple message from Porter's model. So 5, this model, each force determine your profit, industry profit. This is the basic idea of this Porter's 5 forces model. The beauty of this model is simple. Each one of these forces high, then your profit is low. So look at this. Threat of new entrant high, then your profit should be low. Bargaining power of buyers and suppliers high, then your profit will low. Okay. Rivalry high, your profit low. Threat of substitute high, your profit low. This is beauty. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. But it is working. Okay. This is 5 forces model. Porter's 5 forces model. I'm not going to cover each of these 5 forces because it's very simple and easy to read. Okay. All right. Then strategic groups. What is the strategic groups? The group of corporations that share similar strategy. This is a strategic groups. Okay. So look at this. This is price. This is breadth of product. Right? Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. These companies, their price are very high, but breadth of product line is below. Okay? They have small, the narrow array of their productions. So these are strategic groups. And look at these companies. Toyota, Ford, General Motors, Chrysler. They have wide array of their products. And their price is just moderate. So this is the strategic groups. Okay, where you wanna be in this diagrams, it's totally up to you. Okay, it's totally up to you. You can be here, you can be here, you can be here, whatever you want. You need to find your market. Okay, your own market based on your external, internal, environmental analysis. This is the message from these strategy groups. That's it. Okay. So next time, talk about this, right? So next time, we will talk about internal environment. Okay. If you don't have any problem with the external environment. So chapter 2, we covered all the topics. Okay. In the chapter 2, external environment. Do you have any question, comment about it? Okay. So my lecture will be like this. Very simple. Okay. I just want to emphasize some points. That's it. Okay. I'm not gonna replicate all the topics presented in the textbook. Okay. So if it's too fast, please let me know. All right. So any other question, comment before we going? Please say no if you don't. All right. Okay. You did a great job. Okay. We had a great discussions about the case. Okay. And other class activities. Nice. You are doing great. Okay. So I love it. So I will see you. Okay. On Monday. All right. We are start a new chapter 3 on Monday. Okay. Great job, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you on Monday.